Om.
The garments which you are wearing.
Okay.
Okay, I'll quickly give you the insight why the problem is. Probably you have not heard in my previous video. You need to understand how the human body is constructed. It is constructed of 5 layers or 5 sheaths. At the core of the human body is the spirit or the soul. There are 5 layers surrounding that soul. Are you able to hear me clearly?
Yes.
The first layer, which is around the soul, call it bliss.
Mm-hmm.
And that body, call it the seed body also.
Yeah.
Mr. Harry, around this seed body, we have got the next layer is formed, call it intellect and egoism.
Mm-hmm.
Intellect and egoism. That is the second layer which is formed around the soul.
Yeah.
And the third layer which is formed around the soul is the mind.
Mm-hmm.
And the fourth layer formed around is the life force.
Mm-hmm.
And the fifth layer is the body of flesh and blood.
Okay.
So there are 5 layers. If you remove the body of flesh and blood, rest of the 4 layers, they are intact.
Okay.
When the person dies, when you are only saying that the person is dead, but in reality, all that is happening is he is only dropping the body of flesh and blood, the gross body of flesh
Mm-hmm.
and blood.
Mm-hmm.
What is
Okay.
below the gross body of flesh and blood? Everything is intact. We are not going anywhere.
Okay.
Next,
So the circle, the center
that
stays there.
that's what you call. That's what you call. No, we are not talking about a circle. It is the body is now in the form of a kind of a phantom body.
Mm-hmm.
The reason is immediately beneath the underlying asset, beneath the body of flesh and blood, we call it as is a kind of a life force, a body filled with life force. Imagine a kind of a hologram, a body of holographic body. It has got a trunk, neck, head, 2 hands, and 2 legs.
Mm-hmm.
3D, 3-dimensional. It's a kind of a holographic body, hologram type, but filled with life force, completely filled with life force. But 2 hands and 2 legs and other organs of action, they're already placed. It is in the form of a human form. It is not like the form is not like a animal form. It is not like a bird form. It is not like a reptile. It is like a human body. The way human body is there, with the head, neck, trunk, 2 hands and 2 legs. It is in that form, and it is filled with life force. At this stage, it is only filled with life force, and that life force, it is already bifurcated into 5 major life forces and 5 minor life forces.
Mhm.
What are those 5 major life forces? One is acting with your throat and head. One is
Mhm.
acting at the movement of the lungs and all that.
Mhm.
One is at the navel.
Mhm.
One is at the acting at the root chakra to throw away the stuff.
Mhm.
And then one is responsible for maintaining that form. You see, when you say a human being is there is a human being, we say that he has got a head, he has got a neck, he has got 2 hands, he has got 2 legs, and he has also got a body trunk. That's how we imagine a human being.
Mhm.
Otherwise, we will be imagining all aliens now. Otherwise, so this is the underlying asset beneath the body of flesh and blood. We call it phantom body, the body of
Yep.
life force.
Okay.
And what is the
Thank
underlying asset beneath that life force? Beneath that holographic body which we have talked about, which is occupying a 3-dimensional space, mind you. It is in the 3-dimensional space it is occupying, with 2 hands, 2 legs, your head, neck and head, and also the trunk. What is the underlying asset to that? That is called mind. The underlying asset is the mind. That is the third layer. And that mind is not located at a pinpoint location. It is distributed along the trunk of the hologram.
Yeah.
And it is in invisible form. Remember that. Both this phantom body is invisible form, because the matter is made of ether. It is the fundamental state of the matter, ether.
Yeah.
So therefore, it is not visible to the naked eye. And the underlying asset, that is called mind, it is also not visible to us. And that is distributed along the 5 chakras, lower chakras.
Yeah.
When we say lower chakras along the cerebrospinal system, the cerebrospinal system, don't get carried away that we are talking about the body of flesh and blood, that that hard bone which is there, the cerebrospinal system. We are talking about something much beneath that now. Imagine this kind of a blueprint. Imagine it like a blueprint, invisible blueprint, with 5 different chakras. Call them as energy centers.
Mhm.
And at the root chakra, that is at the at the base of the spine, it has got connected to the earth element, or the principle of solidity, You see, inside your mind, later on, a human being is completely manufactured. How does the human being, take a cognizance of the fact that he is, walking on earth on a solid? That sensor to identify the principle of solidity is placed in the base of the spine, in the
Mhm.
root chakra.
Mhm.
And also, it has got the ability to sense the world outside, right? It is connected with the nose.
Yeah.
The root chakra is connected with the nose, or the
Mhm.
organ of smell.
Mhm.
Like all other chakras are connected in this along the mind.
Yeah.
We have 5 chakras, mind you, so far we have talked about.
Yeah.
What is the underlying asset beneath those 5 chakras, beneath this mind? Is your subconscious mind.
Mhm.
That subconscious mind is where the intellect and egoism are located.
Mhm.
And the seat of the intellect is between the eyebrows. That is the Agni chakra. That is third eye chakra.
Yes. Mhm.
So far with me?
Yep. Yep.
So these 3 chakras below this gross body of flesh and blood, life force, mind, and the intellect. We have total 4 now, right?
Yes.
And the 5th one in the end, beyond the intellect,
It's the bliss.
is the bliss. Now, when the gross body of flesh and blood is quit, the rest of the 4 layers, they are intact. We call it as subtle body. That means when a person is as dead, when a person has after he has died, he is not going anywhere. He is simply dropping the body of flesh and blood, just like we remove our garments for the night and put on fresh garment for the next day. Okay?
Yeah.
Now
So
this
yes, please.
continue, yeah, eternally this will continue now. The life of cycle, the cycle of death and birth will continue now, go on.
Mhm.
Now ask me what is that thing which is now bothering you? The doubt.
Nothing really, but that says that if everything that is not really needed is dropped, then you are close to the bliss.
No, there is a problem here. I'm coming to that. That's why I wanted you to answer this actually because of it. I tell you the culprit here. You said it very clear, very close. You are very close to the bliss. The soul is surrounded by the bliss. Fine.
Mhm.
Let us
Yeah.
go into the opposite sequence. First is
Mhm.
the spirit and surrounded by the bliss.
Yes.
Above the bliss is the problem has started. Intellect and the egoism has been created. Above the blissful body of the spirit, you have the intellect and egoism which have been created. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you another analogy quickly. You want to construct a building, right? An iconic building.
hmm
Where are you speaking from?
Sorry?
You are
Where?
speaking from. Where are you speaking from right now?
I'm in Finland.
England, Finland,
Finland.
Okay. Now you want to construct a building,
Yep.
a beautiful building, iconic building.
Hmm.
What is the underlying asset of the building? What is the soul of the building? Is the land.
Yep.
First, you need to acquire the land,
hmm
and then only you can construct the building, right?
Yeah.
Now you take the building and the land together. What is the soul of the land and the building? What is the underlying asset before this building and the land? You need to have a plan, architecture. Architect
Yeah.
architect has to give the design,
Yeah.
the blueprint.
hmm
Without the blueprint, you you don't know. You have to construct the drainage. You have to prepare the land. You have to construct the walls. You have to plan for the plumbing, electricity, and all that, right?
hmm
So the architect has to give you the design first.
hmm
Now you want to construct a iconic building. How will the architect know what you want unless you tell him? You have to give
Yeah.
you have to give out your plan, what you want.
Yeah.
Then only the architect will come to know what you want
Yes.
and where that plan is coming from. Because architect is only drawing it on the piece of paper. Before the architect can write it on the piece of paper, a two-dimensional design,
Yeah.
it is coming from somewhere else, that plan. It is
hmm
coming from your intellect, your mind, inside your mind.
hmm
So far, agree with me?
Yeah.
Now, here is a problem here. Your mind can imagine anything. You may be very creative. You tell that you imagine a kind of a rare and exotic design, which unimaginable. No, it is not seen anywhere, which is normal day-to-day life. You tell the architect. Architect may say, "Sorry, it is not within the technical feasibility." Your mind or the intellect can imagine anything, saying that I want a building like a butterfly. I want a building like a fruit. I want the building like a
Mm.
so and so tree. I want the building to be like a flying dragon in the air. Your mind can conceive anything, but that
Mm.
has to match with this technical feasibility, right?
hmm
Otherwise, how will the architect will draw the blueprint? Now, where that thing is coming to you from? How do you know that it is feasible? Because you must have seen that structure somewhere, either
Mm.
in one of the foreign lands, or you must have seen it in some film. Now you are trying to discuss it with the architect. I know that it can be
Yeah.
technically it is feasible. Let's work on it. That means for your intellect to work, you need some data now. You need some data now. Without the
hmm
data, your intellect will become defunct. Again, I'll repeat. Let's say you're born in some African village. You had no exposure to any education. not trying to what do you call sound any in a demeaning way to the any African country or anything. I'm just giving an example. Let's say you are born in a forest, you had no exposure to any education, you have not traveled, you can only conceive of a wooden cabin at the best. How can you think of a iconic building, a complex architecture,
Mm.
unless you have seen
Mm.
it? So that
Mhm.
that practical experience of yours, that exposure which you had, that
Mhm.
is that is the data you have accumulated in the mind. Without that data, the intellect will become defunct.
Mhm.
Even if you are creating an AI-based robot, unless the data is there, the robot cannot function. It will become defunct.
Mm.
So this is crucial. Where are you carrying the data from? That data you are carrying from the previous birth.
Mhm.
It is that data which you are carried forward from the previous birth, which
Okay.
has now become your genetic coding or your DNA now.
Mhm.
Now, because of the genetic coding or the DNA, your rest of the biological body has been manufactured. Okay.
Yeah.
Suppose had the data not been there,
Mhm.
if the data somehow the data you have managed to burn down the data now. In case of a robot, it will become defunct. In case of a human being, what is going to happen? The intellect will become defunct.
Mhm.
Because the intellect becomes defunct, that is at the bottom of the mind, the surface of the mind also will become defunct.
Mhm.
When the surface of the mind becomes defunct, it starts acting as a mirror now. There is a gentleman,
Mhm.
known as soul or the spirit, who is beyond that intellect,
Mhm.
surrounded by a blissful sheath, blissful layer around him.
Yes.
We talked about it, right?
Yeah.
That blissful layer is around the soul, and so far the soul is not able to enjoy that blissful nature because the mind was cluttered.
Mhm.
The mind, the conscious mind was cluttered because of
Mhm.
the data which was at the bottom of the mind, that is subconscious mind.
Okay.
Because of the data which has been carried forward from the previous life, it is constantly throwing the mind, the conscious mind, into various modifications.
Mhm.
With so many human emotions. And then there is egoism also, the color getting attached to that. So because of the chaos which is there in the conscious mind, the residual, who is the residual person? The soul. We just now talked about it. At the core of the human
Mhm.
being is the residual
Yes.
soul, surrounded by the blissful body. Now that guy, that gentleman doesn't know who's the hell he is. He is he is trying to identify himself with that chaotic mind because of that egoism,
Mm-hmm.
which is now coloring it. So between that, what you call that seed body, the first layer surrounding that soul, that blissful body, and on one side you have the gross body of physical body of intellect, egoism, mind. Intellect and mind,
Mm-hmm.
intellect and egoism, you take it as subconscious mind, right?
Yeah.
For the ease of understanding, intellect and egoism, you take it as subconscious mind, and then the conscious mind, you take it as the mind. So you have three things here: the subconscious mind consisting of intellect and egoism, two things, intellect and egoism, and the conscious mind with all its human emotions and all that. So you have basically these three things, and with these three things, it is able to perceive the world outside, which is made of 5 gross physical elements.
Yeah.
5 physical gross elements.
Yes.
It is perceiving it outside. For that, you have put 5 sensors to it to perceive it.
Yeah.
What you have put? You have put eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and the skin. 5 sensors.
Yeah.
You are now perceiving the world outside now.
Mm-hmm.
And mind is thrown into chaos because of the karma which is there.
Uh-huh.
Now, beyond this intellect is the subtle body, that gentleman called soul who is sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
For by hook or crook, you somehow manage to eliminate the karma.
Mm-hmm.
The soul will see what it is accidentally for the first time.
Yes.
And what is going to get reflected back to that soul? Because the soul has got no form now.
Yes.
Soul is formless, right? It has no legs, it has no hands.
Yes. Yeah.
Then what is that which is getting reflected back to the soul to tell that the soul, the gentleman, that no, you are so and so? What is that being reflected back? That bliss is getting reflected back now.
Okay.
Because that is the bliss which is now surrounding him, right?
Yeah.
That bliss is now coming back to him now.
Okay. Yes.
And what is obstructing what is the obstructing for the soul to know the bliss? That karma which has been accumulated.
Yeah.
Without the karma, that existence is not possible for the as a human being now. Just because the karma is there, therefore you are existing. Your
So
life is.
if it happens that you sorry,
Say again.
excuse me. If it happens that you feel the bliss of the bliss body, is that sort of a karmaless moment?
Yeah, sometimes you do get that inkling of that, the blissful nature. You do get what you are inside.
Yes. Agree.
Yeah,
Yes.
people do experience it sometimes. Uh, they say that the closest which people can talk about is during the act of sex. During the act of sex, the bliss experienced at the time of the climax, the sexual act. They say that is the closest which one can compare it with. That is the closest, not
Maybe.
exactly. That is the closest, not exactly. When we talk about bliss, it is
Thank you.
really bliss. It is really blissful. When we talk about the bliss, it is not for the sake of. Hello, Srinivas?
Yes.
Yes, Guruji, we can hear you. There's background noise coming from Harry's side. Harry, if you can mute it, we can. The background noise will disappear.
My dog.
Oh, your dog. Okay, all right. Sorry.
Okay. Now, can you hear?
Yeah, we can hear you clearly.
So, now this is the problem. The problem is of the karma which is blocking the spirit from knowing what its nature is. If the karma is eliminated, the soul, even if it wants to take up birth as a human being, it can't, because it doesn't have that force now left. For example, even if it wants, it cannot even continue in the body once the karma is eliminated. You have to understand, Mr. Harry, when you talk about a human being, imagine it like to be that of a perfect AI-based robot. Everything perfect, no problem, except one thing: the soul, the underlying asset. The AI-based robot, it doesn't have that soul, whereas a human being has that. Now here we are now arriving at a very, very profound implication now. The profound implication is we are not living in a world of mathematics. We are living in a world of resonance. When the spirit is manifesting as the human body, there is something which is happening to it parallel. Just imagine, from an earthly point of view, common sense point of view, use your normal earthly logic. You are the spirit eternal. Now you want to manufacture yourself as the human being. You need a mechanism, right? There have got to be some mechanism, right? Even if you are manifesting us out of thin air, all right, you are manifesting out of thin air, there got to be some mechanism wherein you need some kind of atoms, then the organic matter, cells, molecular level. You have to manufacture the flesh and blood, and then your rest of the body. So what is happening here is physics. Physics is getting converted into chemistry. Agreed? First.
Mhm.
And the chemistry is now getting converted into biology.
Mhm.
Physics, chemistry, and then the biology. Now, beyond this physics, we have to nail down the basis. How the physics is now, where the physics is coming from now. That physics is a resonating effect of some sonic model. It is not something which you can calculate. That's where the fundamentally the modern science is now going in a different tangent. You are only looking at the physics so that you can calculate it. Whereas what you are looking at is not something which can be calculated. Rather, it is the resonating effect of something else now, from an unknown X factor. And that unknown X factor is what we are referring to as the sonic model.
Sonic.
Yeah. Now, what is happening here is, when a human being is constructed, that's what I was talking about. Now, so far, the science knows only the body of flesh and blood. Now, because of this modern improvement in yoga, tantric anatomy is also known. Now we know that there are chakras. Now we know that there are energy centers. Now, beyond these energy centers, all these energy centers, there is a kind of sound bodies distributed all along the chakras now. The sound bodies, which is the frequency of which is getting translated into some concrete form. After all, you must have seen about what is that subject? Cymatics? Cymatics. When a sound is vibrating at a certain frequency, if you put sand in front of it, there is some kind of a geometrical pattern which you can see. Cymatics. People are working on it right now. People are even also working on how to use this sonic boom to even extinguish the fire also. So many applications are now, people are using it because of making use of the sonic boom. But my point is, this sonic blueprint is integrated with the structure of the human being. It is meshed with that. That's the issue here. That means each sound body is representing a physical equivalence of it. I'll give you the example. If you see the, let's say, root chakra at the base of the spine, it has got 4 sound bodies, 4 letters of the Sanskrit alphabet, 4 energy centers, and together it has got another sound that's called a lam. Lam is the sound of the earth's element. That is representing the earth element. Remember that. That means the principle of solidity. Now keep going up. Now, what is happening at the throat, at the base of the throat? At the base of the throat is the real magic which is taking place here. What is happening at the base of the throat is, the base of the throat is where the primordial state of the matter, that ether is the primordial state of the matter, because matter exists in 5 states. Science accepts only 3. Modern science accepts only 3. Yoga accepts 5. And out of these 5, what yoga says, principle of solidity, both modern science is accepting it and yoga is also accepting it. Principle of liquidity, both modern science is accepting it, yoga is also accepting it. When it comes to the third state of matter, when yoga is saying that it is principle of fire element, now modern science doesn't accept it. Modern science says, sorry, we cannot accept fire as a state of the matter. And if you ask them why, because we cannot measure its mass and volume. Now, whose problem is that if the modern science can't measure mass and volume? Because under the dictionary, under the definition of modern science, the way it is trying to look at the things, since it is not able to measure the mass and volume, so therefore it doesn't want to classify the fire as an element. When it comes to the next, that is wind element, no problem. Science also accepts yoga also accepts. And when it comes to the fifth element, ether, again science can't accept it. Whereas the yoga says no, there is a ether. And why sound can't? Why the science doesn't want to accept it? Because it can't measure the mass and volume, just like it couldn't do it for the fire.
Yeah.
Here is the distinction between the science and the mysticism. Here what is happening is science is looking at the things only the way it can measure it. Now, here is the magic which is happening actually. That is at the base of the throat chakra. The fifth element we are talking about, the ether, is also the place where responsible for the generating the speech sound. So therefore, what the yoga says, the primordial matter ether is indeed the sound. The sound and the primordial matter ether are the one and the same now. That means there is a sonic blueprint which is now superimposed on the body of flesh and blood now. That is the point because of which the entire magic of your the so-called science of mantras, the science of sound, everything is now coming up now. So by triggering the frequency of the sound bodies, you are now impacting the release of the chemical cocktails in your nervous system now. This is that micro signals which we were talking earlier. So that connection is yet to be established, and the science is doing its job. Fine. I got no issues with that. It will take time. But underneath this, the physical body of flesh and blood is the sonic blueprint, which now the science is more or less trying to come to reconcile with, especially with the speculated theory of string theory. That is the problem. Why all this confusion is happening for modern day human beings? They are not able to understand. On one side, religion says something. On one side, yoga says something. On one side, modern science is saying something. And totally, it is a cocktail in the brain. So that is the reason why I've been trying to do. What I've been trying to do is I'm trying to split everything and make you understand, give you the insight piece by piece what is what, and thereafter you piece all the puzzles of pieces of the puzzle, you piece them together yourself. Otherwise you can't get the insight like this. Just by listening to me for one day, I can't make you wiser like this. I have to make you understand little by little what the texts are saying, what the science is saying, because this is how you want to understand it. Because all this understanding is not required again, to be very frank. If one of my disciples says, Guruji, I'm not interested in all this science, I'm not intellectual, I just follow you. That is sufficient. All this is not required. But unfortunately, I have disciples who are from all backgrounds. I have disciples who are highly educated also. I have disciples who are illiterates also. I have to cater for everyone. I have to make everyone understand in this way they can understand it. Okay? No problem, no issues. Yeah. We are most welcome to clarify it the way you want to understand it. Whichever way you are trying to understand it, the aim is to make you calm, to make your mind calm. You must get satisfied.
So
that
that.
Yeah, the conviction develops in you, and your mind is at peace. That dilemma of constant internal debate will come to an end, and you start pursuing the yoga.
The sound of the throat, is it hum?
Say again.
Is it hum on the throat? Lam, vam. Sorry, dog. Yum, hum.
No, these are the sound bodies. Don't bother about it. They are representing each chakra.
Yeah.
Each energy center is represented by the particular sound body, and there are a total of 50 sound bodies which are distributed along all the 6 chakras. And the 7th chakra, that is in the cerebral chakra, each letter is multiplied by 20 times. That is 50 into 20. You will have 1000 letters distributed here.
Yes.
That we will discuss at a separate subject, as a separate this thing, the cerebral, that when we talk about other subjects of spiritualism. As of now,
Okay.
we will concern ourselves.
Nice.
Concern ourselves with only up to 6 chakras. First 5 chakra up to throat, representing the 5 physical elements: principle of solidity, earth;
Yeah.
principle of liquidity, water; fire element;
Yeah.
principle of
Mhm.
wind, that is the gas, principle of gas element, or the wind; and the ether, which is nothing but sound.
Yeah.
And the ether, which is nothing but the sound. So these are the 5 chakras representing, from the root chakra and the genital region, navel region, heart region, and the throat region. When it comes to the 5 sense organs, at the root chakra, linked with the nose, smell; at the genital region, it is linked with the taste, tongue;
Yeah.
at the navel region, that is solar plexus, it is linked with your eyes, form, light, form; and at your heart chakra, it is linked with touch. Okay? Touch. Skin, it is linked with your skin.
Yep.
Wind element.
Yep.
And the throat. And the throat is the ether element, linked with your hearing, ears.
Yeah.
And that's why I said ether is nothing but sound only. Either is not a state of the matter like what the science must be trying to speculate, just like solids, physics, and gases, and plasma, and all that. You see, if you remember these 5 states of matter: solids, liquids, and the gases, science is accepting it. The fire element, more or less, now it is agreeing to accept science. It is now saying that there is something known as matter can exist in a state of plasma. When the matter is existing in a state of plasma, it is in a state of fire only. Plasma, ions, it is in the form of ions.
Yeah.
So science is more or less accepting it, almost now. And comes to the 5th element. It is totally, it is totally different. It is not like these 4 states. You cannot measure it. It has got no mass and volume. It has only resonance now. It is now resonance. So the world which we see today, we see that as a resonance of something, not as something to be measured or calculated here.
Mm.
That's where the things will go wrong in the future.
Yeah, I understand.
Mm. It is a resonating or the effect of resonance of something else. The world which we perceive all around us with our senses is nothing but the resonating effect of something which is deep within us.
Mm.
And lastly, if this be the case, if there was a human being, let's say in your Ireland, you are from Ireland, David?
Yep.
Okay. Let's say during the time of your Vikings, 300-400 years back,
Second.
now
Sorry.
400-500 years back, whosoever was there at the time, now you are there now in 21st century, both of you are same. That means to know, to carry out this study, to realize that the entire world is nothing but a resonating thing of something which is deep within us. Now you don't need this laboratory now. You don't need the scientific instruments now.
Mm.
About 500 years back, your country cousin also didn't have. He also had the equal right to learn the truth about himself, what he was. That means all
Everyone's
this,
got the right to. Yeah.
yes, the ecosystem which you have created now, all the so-called your mathematics, science, all the technology, all the instruments, it is totally, you can just dump them aside. It is, they are of no use now. Because the body,
Mm-hmm.
your body which has been manufactured, the structure of your body, the biology of your body, whether it was 500 years ago, it was same, even now it is same. Or even 3000 years ago, it was same. The biology of the body was same. Therefore, the mechanism, the biological mechanism within the body was same. The human emotions which you experience today, the same human emotions were experienced by your country cousin 500 years back, 1000 years back, and even 2000 years back.
Mhm.
The human emotions are constant. It is just that you have become more educated now, so you know how to measure the things and all that. But your country cousin had a different skills. He probably knew how to hunt better than you. So when it comes to the biology of the body, it is same. If the biology is same, the underlying asset, that is your mind, that is also same. Everything is experiencing the same human emotions. And the underlying asset beyond the mind, that is the intellect and the egoism, they are also same. Therefore, the underlying asset, even beyond the intellect, the soul also got to be same. So to experience or to realize what you are, you don't need all this external paraphernalia now. All the ecosystem is not required now. Okay, let me give you a last one more perspective. You are born in a jungle. You never knew how your face looks like, right? You never knew how your face looked like because you never had access to any mirror. one day someone brought some kind of a shining thing in front of you. Someone has brought some item, a rock, a smooth rock, which is shining, which is reflecting your face. Now, when you look at it, for the first time, you see what you are, right? Till then, you didn't know what you are. Same thing happens here also. What you are in the core, you didn't know because of the clutter in that mind.
Ah, understand.
That aha moment will, when it comes to you, that you will get the first glimpse of what you are.
Mm.
Now you got some idea what you are asking, that same question, Harry?
Yeah. Thank you. Guruji.
Yeah. So these things will take time. You don't have to worry, because you have to understand these things little by little, and you have to piece them all together. That is provided if you want to understand it like this. What we were discussing, it is called as path of knowledge. Trying to discuss everything in intellectually. All this is again not required.
Yeah.
This entire thing can be explained in a totally in a different way also. Okay. It depends upon our temperament. All right. Don't worry about it. In case if your temperament is you want to understand it intellectually, yeah, that is also can be done. But then you have to. It is a laborious process. First of all, once you're on the path of Shakti path, like after that awakening is being done to you, you will realize those aha moments in the course of time. Just imagine yourself. If your psychological barriers have to be broken overnight, you won't be able to digest it. You will brand me only as a madman first. Guruji, what are you talking? How can we do like that? You will brand me as madman first. Same thing what the society did to Copernicus or Galileo. They killed him. Am I right? Galileo was killed. Am I right? Galileo was killed. Am I right? You're mute.